See its sponsors or affiliates.
This is WJZ-FM, Catonsville, Baltimore's sports talk at 105.7 The Fan, and always live on the free Odyssey app. The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome into another edition of the Bruce Cunningham Show. All by myself this week. We loved having Femi the last few weeks, and we'll get him back. We will, I promise. But for me, it's just me and Aaron today, and I'd love to talk to you. 410-583-1057. We got a lot of stuff to go over here, an awful lot of stuff to go over. First of all, let me tell you who we got coming on. Rich Dubroff joins us this hour from BaltimoreBaseball.com, and not just regular Rich Dubroff. No, this is Sarasota, Florida, Rich Dubroff, down there in the midst of spring training, where things are starting to get rolling. And so we will get the very latest from Rich, including the pitching rotation, which seems to be the hot topic right now after the Orioles signed another starting pitcher, and it wasn't the one that everybody wanted, and it created a lot of controversy, but still, Rich will be here to talk about just that. Alonso hit his first home run down there this week, too, which got a lot of oohs and ahs, that's for sure. So that's the first hour. Second hour, Kevin Ostreicher, Locked On Ravens will join us, and we'll go over everything that's going on out there, including the new coaching staff, which is in its entirety now. Anthony Weaver has come back to become defensive coordinator. Bringing some age, frankly, into that coaching room, because Femi and I talked about this quite a bit last week. The average age of Ravens coaches has gone way down, way down. Good, bad, indifferent. I don't know. It just remains to be seen. But Kevin and I will go over that in some detail. Also, in case you haven't noticed, this roller coaster disaster that Maryland had going on in basketball, well, you know what? All of a sudden, they won 2 in a row. And they play again tomorrow. Maybe, are things turning down there? I don't know. It is a big day in college basketball, a very big day. In fact, 4th-ranked Duke is hosting 20th-ranked Clemson today. That's probably the one of the feature matchups, but it's not the feature matchup. And that one comes later today when Kansas and Iowa State at 1 o'clock. Kansas ranked 9th, Iowa State ranked number 5. Locally, UMBC, talk about quietly. Nobody is paying attention to them, and it's at your own peril. You know why? Because they've won 15 games. They're 15-8 over there in the America East. They take on New Hampshire today at 1 o'clock. The only other local team playing today is Coppin, and they are at North Carolina Central. That is at 4:30. I love this time of year in basketball. I like it when you get down to the tail end of things and it all starts to, get a little bit more intense. And there's nothing better, man, than March Madness to me. I'm just saying. In the Olympics, it's turning out to be a pretty good run for the U.S. I know the figure skater fell and all of that, but the medals are starting to pile up. But the men's hockey team is playing today, 3:10 p.m., taking on Denmark. I've been very, very impressed with them, the way they're playing. But I'm super duper impressed with the women's hockey team. They're not just winning games, they're killing people. I mean, they're rolling through there like a steamroller. I am retired, so I have time during the day. And normally I don't watch a lot of TV during the day. I do other things, but I've been watching these Olympics, and I've just been transfixed. It's so much fun. And I probably shouldn't confess this in public, but I will. I'm starting to really, really, really like curling. I know. I need help. But here's the medal breakdown right now. Norway, 10 golds, 3 silvers, 7 bronze, a total of 20. Italy in second place, 6 golds, 3 silver, 9 bronze, 18 total. And the U.S. right behind them, 5 gold, 8 silver, 4 bronze, 17 in all. The Winter Olympics traditionally isn't a United States dominated thing, not like the Summer Olympics can be. But so I always think whatever the U.S. can do at the Winter Olympics is pretty cool. And Michael Ruzioni, who was the captain of that 1980 Olympic hockey team that won gold over the Soviets, in Lake Placid, he met with the U.S. hockey team and he said, "Look, guys, take the pressure off us. Somebody else win one of these things, can you?" And everybody had a good laugh over that, which is a pretty funny story. Getting back to the Orioles, though, Chris Bassett is the guy. Bassett comes with some positives. He pitched in the World Series last year and pitched pretty well. And he knows the American League East, and he's an innings eater. But he's not who everybody wanted to sign. He's not. So it remains to be seen. There's a lot of talk coming out of there that this rotation may be good enough as it is with Trevor Rogers and all those guys. And you know what? That might be true. And Baz and Helsley. But we heard these same things last year. And I'd rather have a little bit more certainty going into this thing. But we'll see. I mean, the exhibition games start up before too much longer. And we've already got 2 injuries. That's the great thing about spring training, It warms you up for the season. And in the Orioles case, it's warming the fan base up for the season. 2 starters hurt already. That Hammett bone that came out earlier this week for the kid. I remember Jose Canseco had that same injury and came back and hit a lot of home runs after it. And they say he maybe by the end of April, I'm not rushing him a bit. I'm just not. No, get healthy, and then we can see from there. Bassett gets a 1-year deal, and that is the Oriole. It seems to be their pattern, with these pitchers. These 1-year guys, bring them in. And, see you at the end of the year. Sagano's out in Colorado, I think. He was a 1-year deal. But everybody's optimistic in the spring, and rightly so. The Orioles, if things go okay, then they should be fine. And by okay, I mean that pitching staff. If those starters can live up to what the Orioles hope they can, then it might be okay. But, I just don't like this whole idea of going in with your fingers crossed like they did last year with Charlie Morton. I don't like that at all. And if you look around the division, other than Tampa Bay, everybody else is loaded up this offseason. The Yankees have loaded up. The Red Sox have loaded up. Toronto has certainly loaded up, coming off a World Series appearance. So it's going to be a tougher climb. It just is. I mean, there's no sense even arguing about that. That's just what it is. They lost out on Valdez, according to Rich Dubroff. He wanted to go to Detroit over Baltimore because Detroit's in the American League Central. A lot easier to win, go to the playoffs, things like that there. American League East, by the time you crawl, it's like the Big Ten in football. By the time you crawl out of there, you're all beat up to hell anyway. And, it just, I don't know. Jordan Westberg got an oblique. Those things tend to be nagging. And as bad as they want him back, and as bad as he needs to get back, you can't rush an oblique. You just can't. And it's discouraging to see this many injuries early. But we might be talking about a whole other thing by the end of the week. I'll tell you this: that Blaze Alexander trade's looking pretty good right now. All of us said, Blaze Alexander, who's that? Well, you're going to find out on opening day because he's going to be playing second base. So, there's that. And, also meant to mention, Heston Kjerstad hit one out of the park yesterday, raising hopes around Oriole land. What a weird story. And one that, we don't have a lot of details on. I asked Rich about it periodically, and you'll hear him say, well, the Orioles are saying he's this or he's that, but he's not really on the field. And he was a high draft pick, and he's got a lot of power. And it's just a great big old mystery, You look at the way this team's, shaping up, there might not be a whole lot of room in that outfield, But if Kjerstad has a big spring, you got to stick him out there. Well, then what happens? See, it's very complicated, especially for a new manager coming in. He's not inheriting an optimum situation, that's for sure. Although there's plenty of pieces there. Ravens, they've been busy. I would expect it to be pretty quiet for the next couple of weeks. If you didn't hear, Mike McDonald hired Zach Orr to be his inside linebackers coach. So going from D coordinator here to inside linebackers there, that it's news, there it is. But the coaching staff is all hired. As I said earlier, it's a lot younger than we're used to seeing. The focus now is going to go towards Lamar Jackson and that contract, because unless they get that thing redone and create a little bit more cap space, then the free agency, they might as well forget. And free agency opens in April, and it is February 14th. It's not like they have all the time in the world to get this done. You've got to re-sign your center. You've got to get at least one free agent, top flight offensive lineman, and all of that's expensive. You want to do that to protect Lamar, and that's the messaging to Lamar. We need you to do this. We want to get some more protection for you. Lamar that's probably music to his ears, because he'd never been hit in his life as much as he got hit last year. Yet they still went into the last second of the season just about in the playoffs. All the things that went wrong, they almost pulled it off. So Vinter and his staff, I wish them luck. This is a much better job than a rookie head coach in the NFL usually gets. You can win here. You can win here right away. Look at Mike McDonald. And I guarantee you that Vinter's thinking about that an awful lot, especially as he goes down his roster, and sees Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, and some pretty good players on the defensive side. One of them wears number 14. His name's Hamilton, Roquan. You got talent on that side of the ball, too. So the point is, he's coming into a much better situation than a rookie head coach usually does in the NFL. And he's got to feel good about that. Because while I was talking about the Orioles in their stupid division and how hard it is, this AFC North, at least sitting right here, it's not very daunting. It really isn't. I'm not really scared of anybody. So let's see. Let it rip. All right, opening the phones next segment. Love to talk to you. 410-583-1057. Again, 410-583-1057. We're off and running on the Bruce Cunningham Show.
The Fan. When you're away from your car, listen on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps. Search 1057 The Fan.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now through Monday, all brands are on sale at Mattress Firm with up to 60% off. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Hey man, that was our exit. We're gonna miss kickoff.
Don't worry, just gotta stop by Giant to get some chips and dip real quick.
Nice. You got the Upside app too, right?
Upside? What's Upside?
Time out. You don't know this? Check this out. Upside is a free app that gets you cash back when you buy groceries. And it just added all Giant stores in DC, Maryland, Virginia, and Delaware.
You're saying I can get money back just for buying groceries? That's a pretty big deal.
Yep, and with Upside, you can get up to $15 every time you shop at Giant. Now pull over and get the Upside app. Let's get some cash back on that queso.
Download the Upside app and use promo code CHARM01 to get a $10 bonus on your first grocery purchase at Giant. That's promo code CHARM01 to get a $10 bonus. Use promo code CHARM01. Giant is now on Upside. It's a pretty big deal.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
That's another amazing run by Team USA.
Mom, think I'll be on Team USA one day?
Well,
I'll take this one.
what? Are you speaking to us?
Yes, and to answer your question, anything's possible, especially with Xfinity.
So, I can be the best snowboarder ever?
Well, I can't guarantee that, but Xfinity can guarantee that your internet price won't change for 5 years.
Okay. What if I practice every day?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom, you'll still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, really stuck the landing there.
It's the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 value per month. Xfinity. Imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
Welcome back, Bruce Cunningham Show. Aaron, you probably don't realize it, but there was a cover of this. It was a pretty big hit by the Talking Heads. That's what put them on the map. Yeah. Look it up. You'll be amazed. 410-583-1057. It is early spring, and that means lacrosse season is getting underway with a vengeance. Loyola at Hopkins, 1 o'clock. How about that? And going on right now, Towson leading Navy 2-1. 7:33 in the first quarter. So we'll keep you up to date on all those scores. That's one of the things I like about spring. We can pass along lacrosse scores. Why not? 410-583-1057. My man Tony in Rosedale. What's going on?
Hey, Bruce. How's it going?
Everything's good. How about you?
I'm good. You know, before I get on to my Orioles talk, the Winter Olympics.
Yeah.
You know, one of the more intriguing events that I've always been a fan of is the downhill skiing, because when I was young, a guy named Franz Klammer.
Oh, yeah.
Made it. Remember him?
Oh, sure.
Made it look so easy.
The great ones do, don't they? That's what great athletes do. They always make it look easy. But you know what? It ain't.
It's not. Because the first time I went to like a real ski slope, I was like, I wanted to do this. Looking at Franz Klammer, I looked at that mountain. I was like, no way, no way.
Yeah.
Take me to the kiddie slope. But on to the Orioles. Bruce, I know a lot of people listen to your shows, your shows every week, and a particular, I'm going to say, media must have heard the cry, because I've called your show through the years and complained about Masson only televising 1 or 2 exhibition games.
Yeah.
They really stepped it up this year. Did you see how many they're
I
showing
do.
this year?
They're going to show 21. And you know why? There's a very good reason for that. Under the deal of their old contract, the one that the Nationals were part of, every spring training game that was Orioles spring training game, they had to match it with the Nationals spring training game. And the cost of that just got too prohibitive. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Yeah.
It makes sense, and I understand.
And you know, and it kind of worked out for the Orioles, because there are some people on this roster everybody's going to want to see, you know, and you're not going to have to wait till opening day, so that's a plus.
I always said people want to know what they're investing their money in. You know, might cause you to go from a 6 to a 13 to a 29 game plan, just looking at how you like, what you see in spring training and exhibition. I think Masson is doing a real good deed by showing all these games.
Well, why shouldn't? Why not? Why not? People are going to watch it.
Bruce, I want to ask about a particular player on the Orioles.
All
right. Jeremiah Jackson.
Yeah.
Now, last year he came up and he showed us
everything.
Out of all the recent call-ups the last few years, he's the only one that showed a little plate discipline. He's the only one that hit. I mean, if you look at Mayo and even Gunnar when they came up, and Jackson Holiday, they struggled. But Jeremiah Jackson actually, hit and showed good plate appearance. I just want to know what you think the plans are for him, because I don't even know what position he really plays. They move him around so much.
See, that's the problem with him. He doesn't really have a set position. And if you look at the starting 8 that they've managed to put together, really the only weak spot to me is Kowser. And I don't know if Jackson can play center field or not. And I don't even know if you want a converted outfielder out there playing center field. It's a very crowded room right now. I wouldn't be surprised to see them try to deal him. because the rest of baseball knows what he can do. I just don't think they have a spot for him right now, you know?
Okay, it's a shame because, like I said,
he's great.
He hit pretty good.
I'll tell you
when
what,
he
though,
came up.
there's always the old time honored thing. Just play so well this spring that they got to keep you, you know?
Yeah, so that's it for this week, Bruce.
All right, Tony.
Maybe you can ask Rich when he comes on about Jeremiah. I know Rich got his own thing, but maybe you can get it in for
I'll
me.
bring that up. Don't worry about it. I'll tease. See you later, Tony. Thanks for the call. 410-583-1057. Mike in Pasadena, where I live. What's going on, Mike?
How you doing, Bruce?
I'm well.
Have you thought out yet?
No. let me tell you something. The lower level of my house, I have a pellet stove because it's real hard to heat it down there because it's below ground level, you know. And I'm down to my last 2 bags of pellets. Now, here's the problem. I got about 4 inches of ice in the back of my truck. Where am I going to put those bags of pellets, you know?
That's true.
So I'm sweating it. I don't know what to do.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
4 inches?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. All right, let's talk about the Orioles and in particular the bullpen.
Sure.
Why did they, I guess they re-signed him, Yanier Cano?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think he was all that good last year. And I can't see bringing him back again. Why do you think they still want him on the roster?
Well, to be really flip about it, pitching's hard to find, you know, and even though he struggled, he has shown in the past. I don't think he got bad enough that they even thought about getting rid of him, you know?
Really?
Well, you know how thin bullpens get during the season, right?
For sure.
And if you got a guy, he struggled last year, but the year before that and the year before that, he wasn't all that bad. In fact, they were thinking of him as a closer when Batista went down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I think their hope, there's a lot of hope as far as the warehouse, as far as this pitching staff goes. But I think one of the main hopes is that bullpen sort of defines itself, you know, and sort of you can get a picture of what it's going to look like when the season started. Because you're a seasoned baseball fan, you ain't going anywhere without that bullpen, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
How about Danny Colomb? Is he still available?
I don't know.
He was on Texas last year, correct?
I don't know if he signed or not.
The last time I looked, he had not.
Okay.
And I always felt a lot of confidence when they put him in. Now, I do believe he may have had some kind of injury last year.
Oh, Colomb. Yeah, Danny Colomb. He did.
Yeah.
He did. You know what? I thought you're making me do a whole bunch of Google searching here.
Okay.
I thought somebody else signed him. Hold on. Danny Colomb. Danny. Oh, this is good radio, isn't it?
That's okay.
Danny Colomb. He's let's see. He's a free agent right now. Nobody signed him.
So he is available.
Yep.
I would love to see them take a chance on him.
Me too. You know what? He was reliable and he threw strikes. I loved him.
Exactly. Those are two things that I don't think Mr. Cano can do anymore.
Yeah, maybe
being
not.
reliable and throwing strikes.
Yeah.
He's the one that if they had to take somebody out, I would get rid of him and I would go after Colomb. And he's left-handed, is he not?
Uh-huh. He is.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, let's see what they have. You know, I mean, if Colomb's not signed with anybody, there's probably a reason for that, right?
Well, that's true, but I would still take a chance.
Yeah, they probably looked at him.
What do you got to lose?
The one thing that the Orioles have shown us, this front office has shown us definitively, is that they know how to scout. Okay, we know that about them. So if they don't think Colomb's a fit, then I'm tending to take their word for that. You know.
And do we have new hitting coaches this year?
Yes, everybody's new.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll get into all that.
That's good to hear.
All right.
Always good to talk to you,
Thanks,
Bruce.
Mike. I appreciate it. Tell everybody in the Dina Bruce says hey. All right. Hey, coming up, all these Oriole questions and all this Oriole talk. Rich Dubroff, BaltimoreBaseball.com, going to join us to go over all of this live from sunny Florida. Stick around for that.
Ravens.
Lamar Jackson is gone.
Terps.
Rays with the hammer.
And O's.
Colton Cowser, demolition derby.
Sports Radio 105.7. The Fan.
Not sure if your home will sell? Hire the Lee Tessier team with eXp Realty. Lee guarantees he can sell your home. If he can't, he's going to buy it. LeeTessier.com.
If you're selling your home, don't make it hard. Just call Lee Tessier.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now upgrade to a Tempur-Pedic and get a $300 instant gift, plus next-day delivery. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. Next-day delivery available on select mattresses and subject to location. See store for details.
Hey, man, that was our exit. We're going to miss kickoff.
Don't worry. Just got to stop by Giant to get some chips and dip real quick.
Nice. You got the Upside app too, right?
Upside? What's Upside?
Time out. You don't know this? Check this out. Upside is a free app that gets you cash back when you buy groceries. And it just added all Giant stores in D.C., Maryland, Virginia, and Delaware.
You're saying I can get money back just for buying groceries? That's a pretty big deal.
Yep, and with Upside, you can get up to $15 every time you shop at Giant. Now pull over and get the Upside app. Let's get some cash back on that queso.
Download the Upside app and use promo code CHARM01 to get a $10 bonus on your first grocery purchase at Giant. That's promo code CHARM01 to get a $10 bonus. Use promo code CHARM01. Giant is now on Upside. It's a pretty big deal.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
At the UPS Store, we know being a small business owner means holiday time is still go time. Still get those orders shipped time. And still re-up on stamps and supplies time. That's why this upcoming holiday, while others close up shop, we'll be open. And happy to help you keep being unstoppable. Come into your local store today. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, pricing, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Great moments in sports. Today, a pitcher is happy if he can pitch a single no-hitter in his entire career. Nolan Ryan, on the other hand, did it a record 7 times, 3 times more than any other pitcher. Lucky number 7 came on May 1st in 1991. The Toronto Blue Jays versus the Texas Rangers. Ryan was 44 at the time.
Here comes 44-year-old Nolan Ryan, who still can throw in the 90s. Last time out, he threw over 130 pitches. There was some question as to whether he would take his turn tonight.
He didn't warm up well. His shoulder, arm, and back were all sore. He even warned the pitching coach that he didn't think he'll be out there for very long. Despite feeling horrible before the game, things turned around in the first inning, and his pitching was unstoppable.
Nolan Ryan here in the 9th inning, looking for a career 7th no-hitter. That's it! Number 7 is in the books. The remarkable Ryan has done it again.
His teammates hoisted him on their shoulders and carried him off the field. Nolan had just made baseball history.
The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
Welcome back, Bruce Cunningham Show on a snowy Saturday. That won't be the last. That I can promise you.
Oh, no.
All right, Chris Bassett showed up this morning, and he had a lot to say, didn't he?
He sure did. He sure did. Very impressive. Very impressive guy. And he talked about how important it is to win a World Series. That's why he's here. He said he's not over the Toronto Blue Jays loss, that no matter how close it was, and people saying, "Oh, you didn't lose the World Series." Well, yes, you did. He is very eager to pitch for the Orioles and to help get them to the World Series.
Well, when they signed him this past week, a lot of fans were underwhelmed. I mean, they wanted to see a bigger name. We went over Valdez last week and some of his reasons for Detroit. He wasn't their number one target, but he's not exactly like a consolation prize either, right?
No, he's not. In fact, I think you and I talked about him many times over the over the last few months that he was going to be a target. Now, he said today that the Orioles told him at the beginning of spring training, at the beginning of free agency, that he was a target, but not their primary target, that they were very honest with him. And then once Valdez signed, I think things got a little more serious, and they were able to come to an agreement. And I think that he's good. But I think what the Orioles are doing is interesting here. Is that they're going for depth. I don't know that Framber Valdez would have guaranteed them a playoff spot.
Right.
But when you have all these guys, and assuming that some of them stay healthy or many of them stay healthy, you have depth now, and that's what you have to have in the postseason. Yes, it would be nice to have a clear number one, and maybe Kyle Bradish or Trevor Rogers or Shane Baz are going to, come out and be the number one starter.
That was the next thing. That's the next thing I was going to ask you. How do you see? I mean, it's Valentine's Day. It's way too early to be determining these things. But in your own mind, who's 1, who's 2, who's 3, who's 4, who's 5 as of right now?
Well, first of all, it is Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, yes.
Right now, I would say Kyle Bradish is number 1, Trevor Rogers is number 2, Shane Baz is number 3, Bassett and Eflin, I'd say 4 or 5, I guess. And there's Kramer. Then there's Kramer. Then there's Tyler Wells. So you have some real depth here. Something's got to give. Are they going to go with a 6-man rotation? Maybe, because that could help them stretch things out. But then that means only 7 guys in the 7 guys in the bullpen. So there are a lot of interesting questions. But the Orioles have real starters now, and then they have Cade Povich and Brandon Young who are in reserve. So you want to have 8 or 9 starting choices, and hopefully you get through spring training relatively healthy, and those can be real choices 5 or 6 weeks from now.
Did I hear that Kjerstad hit one out yesterday?
I heard that. Yeah, he did. He did hit one out, and he's we haven't had a chance to talk to him yet, but he's looking good, and he needs a really big spring training to put himself back in the Orioles' eyes as being a potential player for them or a potential trade chip for them.
Now, as far as on the field, there have been some injuries already just to get people ready, for the regular season. But Westberg, with that particular injury, those things can be tricky. They're almost like hamstrings in that they can flare up. And I hate it when I hear somebody's got an injury to that area.
Yeah, the oblique is. Yeah, the oblique is a troubling injury. I mean, last year Adley Rutschman had 2 of them. Yeah, one from each side. That was very bad. Now Westberg says that he thinks he's coming along. He won't be. The spring games start next Friday. He won't be. He won't be in the lineup. As long as he's in the lineup for the bulk of the games or many of them in the spring, then I think everything will be fine. And the other injury that's troubling, of course, is Jackson Holliday, who had the hamate bone in his wrist removed, and it was just weird that the same day his injury was announced, Corbin Carroll of the
same thing.
Diamondbacks and Francisco Lindor of the Mets also had them. So it's the year of the I guess it's the year of the hammock bone. But he'll miss, the beginning of the season, and maybe not much longer. I remember Nick Markakis had one of these injuries in 2012.
Yeah.
And he came back.
Canseco had one and came back and hit a lot of home runs after that. So it's not necessarily a big tragedy, that's for sure. Alonso, now I watched with great interest the video and when he reported and the things he had to say. It seemed to me that there was an element of he can add some leadership to this young clubhouse. And it seems to me, just from the video that I saw, that he's kind of settling into that role. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I think all these guys that they've added seem to be good guys. Shane Baz seems to be a good guy. Bassett, Ryan Helsley. We haven't seen Taylor. We haven't seen Taylor Ward yet. But I've heard he's supposed to be a good guy, and I think that having all of them here is something that's really going to help. I think the Orioles were really missing that veteran leadership last year, and even in 23. I mean, they had Kyle Gibson and they had James McCann, and they didn't bring them back the next year. And I think that didn't help. But I'd like to see. I think that'll all be helpful. And and I think it'll make the team better.
I think so too. I mean, that's badly needed in a clubhouse. Now, the other question I have is about first base. I have a funny feeling that either Mayo or Mountcastle is not going to be on this team by the time they break camp. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it would seem that. I mean, they could send Kobe Mayo back to AAA to start the season, which I don't know that that's a great idea.
No, I don't think so.
They could try and trade Ryan Mountcastle. Or maybe somebody gets hurt. Or now, for the moment, Mayo is they're going to put Mayo at third base some, and for the moment, if Holiday starts the season on the injured list, then it's possible that you could have both of them
in the lineup.
On the team to start the season, but that's kind of tricky. So I'm thinking they're. I'm thinking that yes, they might make a deal, but the only thing right now it looks like they could use maybe a better utility infielder, but they have Blaze Alexander, who we haven't talked to yet. He's here, and then they can always use more bullpen pieces. Another left-hander, and there aren't. Danny Coulombe's still out there for some reason.
Yeah.
But they could, try and trade for another reliever. I don't know that, I don't know that that's what you trade Ryan Mountcastle for.
Yeah. I had a caller earlier that asked about Coulombe. It's kind of a mystery why nobody signed him. As far as we know, he's healthy, right?
Yeah. And earlier in the offseason, Ken Rosenthal wrote that there were about 5 teams that were interested in him. And so he hasn't signed, but he is by far. There aren't very many free agents still out there. I know we talked about it every week. Who are the free agents still out there right now? Luca, of the guys we talked about, Lucas Giolito and Zach Littell and Max Scherzer among starters, and Coulombe is by far the best reliever who's still out there.
The trade for Blaze Alexander. As soon as we hear about that, we hear about the injuries to the 2 infielders. Is that coincidental, or do you think that was part of a bigger plan?
I think it was. I think it was not coincidental because I think they knew Westberg was. Westberg had his oblique injury, so I think that was. It happened the day before Holiday had his injury, but I think that I think it accelerated things. But the Orioles did need a utility infielder, and I think they wanted one who they viewed as a step above Ramon Urias, who is still a free agent for some strange reason. I mean, I think he's a good player.
He was.
And they should, hopefully he'll find a team soon.
Well, position players are set to report, but that's kind of a misnomer this year. Most of them are already there, aren't they?
Most of them are there. We haven't seen Ward. We haven't seen Alexander. We haven't seen John Kenzie Noel, Big Christmas. Although he worked out in the he worked out in the Dominican Republic. We haven't seen Leody Tavares. Some of them may be here, but we haven't, we just haven't seen them.
Right.
But yeah, they're supposed to report tomorrow. But basically, I mean, Alonso's here. Colton Cowser's been here. Westberg, we talked to. Gunnar Henderson's been here. So a lot of people, have have already been here.
Well, Westberg has got to prove he can stay healthy. Injuries are not a player's fault, but man, injuries can sure affect careers.
Well, the thing that's mystifying about him is his numbers were really good.
Yeah.
When he played last year, and if you extrapolate them to a 162-game season, he would hit close to 30 home runs and drive in 90 runs, and that's something that you can badly use. I think he's a really good player.
I do too, and let's hope he can stay healthy. They've added 70 home runs to the lineup. Also, our old friend up in Toronto, shoulder, he's going to miss most of the season, right? Santander?
Santander, yes. Unfortunately, Santander is having, has a shoulder injury. He's supposed to miss 4 or 5 months. So that's not good. It looked like it was not a very good free agent signing for the Blue Jays.
Shoulder injuries in baseball are always a bad combination. Shoulder surgeries in baseball. It's a bad thing to go through, right?
I'll say.
Rich, enjoy your time down there in sunny Florida. We look forward to talking to you next week.
Okay. Then when we talk next week, it'll be just before the second game of the spring, if that can be. I know it's hard to believe, isn't it?
Well, we can actually watch some games this spring, and I told a caller earlier, but you explain it better than anybody. You said it last week. Tell us why there's so many more Oriole games on the air this spring.
Right, they're having 20 games on this spring, and in the past, because of the Washington Nationals being televised by Masson, the Nationals and the Orioles had to have the same number of telecasts. And now Washington's part of the Major League Baseball TV package. So they're not part of Masson anymore. So the Orioles are free to televise as many games while not having to worry about the Nationals.
I'm looking forward to it. Rich, thanks, man. We'll talk again next week.
Okay, my pleasure. Thank you, Bruce.
There he goes, Rich Dubroff, BaltimoreBaseball.com. Actually standing in the sun in Sarasota, Florida. And now that I've said that, I want you to look out the nearest window and pause and take it in and then realize that Rich was just talking to us from Sarasota, freaking Florida. Phones are open again next segment, 410-583-1057. Again, 410-583-1057. Do you feel confident going into the season with this group that they have? Is it possible it could be a little better than a lot of us think? I don't know. Let's take that up. 410-583-1057.
The only station all the voices in our heads can agree on. Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
Hey, it's Ken Weinman. Want to know why betting the Winter Olympics on FanDuel makes sense? From game lines to medal counts to finding your angle in the events you care about most, FanDuel gives you more ways to stay connected to the action. The Winter Games are on, and there's no better way to follow them than with a bet on FanDuel. Curling matches that start slow and somehow get tense fast? Speed skating decided by inches. Hockey games that feel different from the opening face-off, and so much more. FanDuel is your place to bet the Winter Olympics. And go now. FanDuel, play your game. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of 105.7 The Fan. 21 plus and present in Maryland. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or give them a call at 1-800-GAMBLER. Again, that phone number is 1-800-GAMBLER.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now through Monday, all brands are on sale at Mattress Firm with up to 60% off. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Hey, man, that was our exit. We're going to miss kickoff.
Don't worry. Just got to stop by Giant to get some chips and dip real quick.
Nice. You got the Upside app too, right?
Upside? What's Upside?
Time out. You don't know this? Check this out. Upside is a free app that gets you cash back when you buy groceries. And it just added all Giant stores in D.C., Maryland, Virginia, and Delaware.
You're saying I can get money back just for buying groceries? That's a pretty big deal.
Yep, and with Upside, you can get up to $15 every time you shop at Giant. Now pull over and get the Upside app. Let's get some cash back on that queso.
Download the Upside app and use promo code CHARM01 to get a $10 bonus on your first grocery purchase at Giant. That's promo code CHARM01 to get a $10 bonus. Use promo code CHARM01. Giant is now on Upside. It's a pretty big deal.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Can I take your coat?
Oh, you noticed. Yeah, I found it on eBay from a seller in Vegas. Pre-loved and perfect. She listed it and jackpot. Italian leather, classic trench silhouette. And did you see the braided buckle?
Hang on to your claim ticket.
Oh, I'll hang on to this forever. Have you been on eBay? There's so many finds. And I bet that diving watch would sell fast. Just saying.
Find what you love, sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
At the UPS Store, we know being a small business owner means holiday time is still go time. Still get those orders shipped time. And still re-up on stamps and supplies time. That's why this upcoming holiday, while others close up shop, we'll be open. And happy to help you keep being unstoppable. Come into your local store today. Most locations are independently owned. Product services, pricing, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
If someone you give your life for walks out on you and you feel you have no one else to turn to.
Welcome back. Bruce Cunningham Show on a snowy Saturday in Baltimore. Hopefully, this is going to be gone by the end of this coming week. Temperatures are going to get up there. I'm sick to death of it. I don't know about you. One lacrosse game going on right now. Towson leading Navy 3-2. That's in the second quarter. Actually, late in the second quarter. They're almost to halftime. Maryland opened its season last night, losing to Syracuse. So they start out 0-1. And we've got 3 monitors here in the studio, and we usually have sports up on them. I got the Olympics on one, MLB.com on the other one. The other one's on ESPN, and they're showing Duke and Clemson. Now, I've gotten used to the Big Ten. In fact, I kind of like the Big Ten. But, man, nothing felt better than hating Duke. You know? And now you just look at them, yeah, it's Duke. But you just don't have that hate that you used to have for Duke. I'm going to tell you something amazing about Duke that I bet you didn't know. Their current star on this team, and it's ranked 4th in the nation. They're very good. They're 22-2. Is Cameron Boozer. Now, Cameron's father, Carlos, helped lead Duke to a national championship. Remember Carlos Boozer? And you remember Trajan Langdon that played with him? That's Cameron's Boozer's father, and of course he is named after Cameron Indoor Stadium, which is, to a Maryland fan is like going to hell, But Cameron Boozer. Here's the interesting thing, though: Carlos Boozer and Trajan Langdon on that Duke team They won a national championship. They also got a commitment, a scholarship, signed scholarship to Kobe Bryant. Kobe, of course, opted to go to the NBA and make history, became one of the all-time greats. But as good as that Duke team was, with Carlos Boozer and Trajan Langdon, imagine Kobe Bryant out there with him. Kind of boggles the mind, doesn't it? 410-583-1057 is the number. Again, 410-583-1057. My man Steve in Edgewater, been on hold a long time. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm going to do a Jeremy Kahn morning voice. I love Duke. I can't do Coach K, but that's Jeremy. I love Duke.
I've heard him do that. That's a pretty good impression.
It's a really good impression. I tell you, and I knew when you said the last name Boozer, you were going to tie that in there. Carlos had a good NBA career also.
Yeah, he did. So did Langdon. Didn't have a bad career either.
You know, I really didn't follow Langdon. I would just I'd hear Boozer, and you know. So talk about Boozer.
Well, wait a minute before you go further. Can you imagine Kobe with those two back in the day?
No, and I learned that from you just now. I did not know that.
Yeah,
he would have went to Duke.
Yep, with Trajan Langdon and Carlos Boozer.
I'm a lefty guy. I was at Len Bias's funeral. God bless the little cards with his information on it, because there's no air conditioning at Cold Fieldhouse, so all you saw was the cards going back and forth. But I hated Duke.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I grew up with Jaminsky.
Yeah. Jim Spanarkel. Yeah. I remember that too. Bill Foster was the coach back then. It wasn't even Coach K yet, right? Bill Foster.
Those names, Spanarkel, it always makes me think of he was either a guard or a forward at Notre Dame, Kelly Tripucka.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, have you ever been, I know you live in Medina, and I'm a local realtor. Do you know, or have you ever met the 104-year-old man that has his bar in the basement of his house, and it's the only...
I haven't, and I want to go by there. In fact, my wife wanted to take me a couple weeks ago. We couldn't go, but that's definitely on my list. I got to see this basement bar.
He's 104. Yeah. Okay, back on the sports.
Yeah.
I'm excited about the Ravens, the new coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
Did they just sign Levine Senior as the defensive backs coach?
No. He's special teams. Special teams coordinator. He'll be great at that because the most impact he had on the Ravens was on special teams, right?
I like it.
I do too.
I like it.
Yeah.
The Orioles, it's a wait and see, but I'm just excited for baseball. And this warm here, I'm in Edgewater now. It is 53 outside, bros.
All right. I just got to melt my pickup truck. That's all I'm asking. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate the call.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
If you're just joining me, I told a caller earlier, I got a pellet stove, and I'm down to 3 bags. And I got to go get some more pellets. But if you put pellets in water, have you ever seen a dog kibble get dropped into water? That's what pellets do. So I'm sweating this. I'm conserving. I'm trying not to use the pellet stove, but it's hard. Kevin in Falston, what's going on?
Hey, Bruce. Good morning. Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hey, real quick, I want to caveat if I'm not mistaken, Trajan Langdon and Carlos Boozer are both from
Alaska.
You'd never think.
Alaska.
That's right, dude.
See, well, let me tell you why I knew that. Their dads were military. My dad was military. I lived in Alaska. So I always kind of identified with them for that reason.
Well, it's true. I don't think either of them won a state title in Alaska, which...
I don't know.
I think that's right from a trivia thing that I heard. If so, that coach probably should be fired. Hey, with the O's, with the outfield rotation, tell me what you think right now, starting outfield will be, and like what rotation do you see in right and left?
Well, I think Rich nailed it a couple minutes ago. This is a top 4 right here in his view. He says it's Bradish, Rogers, Bell, and Eflin. That's his top 4, and then you got about 7 guys bubbling under that.
Well, I meant the outfield. Bruce.
Oh, the outfield. I'm sorry. The outfield. Well, you're gonna have Cowser in center by default. I think they don't want to put him out there. They're not convinced he's going to ever hit at the major league level, but frankly, they don't have anybody else to play center unless Jeremiah Jackson has this gigantic spring and shows everybody he's a great center fielder, but that's an awful big if. I can never remember his name yet. The outfielder they got from the Angels in the Rodriguez trade. Why can't he's going to be in left, I think. And in right field, our pal who's hurt all the time, they're hoping he's going to be healthy. Why can't I think of the guy's name from the Angels? Why can't I think of that? Oh, anyway.
I can't either. Yeah. But I agree with you with Mr. I call him Mr. Muscles, the guy that spends more time in the weight room than on the field.
Yeah.
But I hope he stays healthy because, the guy is a 30-homer guy.
Yeah, well, you know what? They aside from him, they added 70-some home runs to the lineup in the offseason. Yeah. And look, let's be honest, Camden Yards is a home run park, so I'm loading up on big bats too, Yeah,
I agree. Well, hey, great job. Enjoy the show.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Talk to you soon. 410-583-1057. We got time for one more. Let's go to Tony in Bel Air. Tony, what's up?
Hey, Bruce. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm well. How you doing?
Doing well. Hey, I just want to talk a little bit about coaching. And I'm not really understanding when I hear, young players like Kobe Mayo and Jeremiah Jackson not having positions. What the heck are we teaching these guys? It's we hear a lot when people call in, these guys have never had a position. Kobe Mayo played third base all his life. And I'm not saying he's going to be a Gold Glover, but I think Jeremiah Jackson came up as a second baseman, shortstop. But when you hear people talk about Jeremiah Jackson, for instance, it's this guy has never had a position. Where meanwhile he has. He's been a top-rated prospect for the Angels, and I don't know what they're looking at. The guy's got probably the best bat-to-ball skills of any young player we've brought up. To say he doesn't have a position on this team, I think you're giving up on a guy that's way too young.
You're not wrong. I don't disagree. And I tell you something else.
You're insulting your coaches. To me,
The other thing
Ron Washington in here if you need to teach infielders.
The other thing about Jackson, though, and I'm surprised you didn't mention this, he's one of the few guys that's got any speed at all. Where's their speed this year? Yeah, they brought in a lot of big, hairy home run hitters, but where's your speed? I don't really see any. Do you?
No, I think he's to me, I think he's his floor is 275 with 15 homers, and he's a guy back in the day there was a Tony Phillips who kind of moved around, or I think that's the guy he is, and I think he can get better because he's so athletic defensively. But if you can't coach up that guy, I don't know what you got coaches for. So I'll let you go.
Good point, man. Thanks. I appreciate it. That's it for the hour number one. Coming up next hour at 1:30, Kevin Ostreicher is going to join us. Locked On Ravens. We hadn't had him in a while, and we got a lot of Raven stuff to get caught up on. That's for sure. Also coming up, we'll talk some more Orioles with you too, because this thing is getting more and more real. And I've got a thought going into the season that I want to share with you. We'll do that next. Stick around.
The Big Bad Morning Show, Vinny and Haynie, and Inside Access. Weekdays 6 till 6. Get it on YouTube. Subscribe at Baltimore 105.7 The Fan.
For all 105.7 The Fan station contest rules, please visit 1057thefan.com.
Can I take your coat?
Oh, you noticed. Yeah, I found it on eBay from a seller in Vegas. Pre-loved and perfect. She listed it and jackpot. Italian leather, classic trench silhouette. And did you see the braided buckle?
Hang on to your claim ticket.
Oh, I'll hang on to this forever. Have you been on eBay? There's so many finds. And I bet that diving watch would sell fast. Just saying.
Find what you love, sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
Hi, I'm Maria, salon owner. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through March 22nd,
Switch to Comcast Business and get started with 150 megabit internet for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Or ask how to lock in your rate for 5 years on a qualifying internet bundle and get a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile for a limited time only. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. Requires paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, upgrade to a Tempur-Pedic and learn how you can get 3% back plus an instant gift. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
This is WJZ-FM, Catonsville, Baltimore's sports talk at 105.7 The Fan, and always live on the free Odyssey app. The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
Back, Bruce Cunningham Show, hour number 2. That, of course, is the original, official Sam and Dave version, not the Blues Brothers. I like the Blues Brothers, but that's the real thing right there. 410-583-1057 is the number again, 410-583-1057. We've been updating you on the Navy and Towson lacrosse game. Right now, they've tied it up in the second quarter. It's tied at 3. Just getting ready to get underway is Loyola and Hopkins, a big, big, big local rivalry that I always kind of look forward to. As we mentioned, Maryland opened its season last night, losing to Syracuse. So they got some bouncing back to do, but they'll be fine. I'm not too worried about them. How about you? No, I didn't think so. 410-583-1057. That's the number, 410-583-1057. You heard Rich Dubroff just before the break talk about the number of games, Oriole games that are going to be on this spring. I always felt that Masson was missing a big opportunity. But then Rich explained to me why they showed so few spring training games, and it's because you had to, for every Oriole game you showed, you had to show a Nationals game, and that just got really, really expensive. So I think it's a good thing, given the new faces, that we're going to be able to see a whole bunch of games. You know, in fact, it starts this Friday, and the games are at 10 a.m., which is great. If you've ever been to spring training, it's very informal. But Friday and Saturday of this coming week, the Orioles are on. Friday the 20th, Saturday the 21st, at 10 a.m., and you'll be able to watch them. And then again, after that, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday of the next week. So we're going to get plenty of the Orioles. It's good timing because people want to see Alonso swing the bat. You know, they want to see these pitchers throw. They want to see what the team's going to look like. It's always been unfortunate that Masson couldn't show you more of that in the spring, because like when I was at Fox 45 all those years, we had a satellite hookup. And I would see these other regionals like Nesson, New England, the Red Sox, and the Yes Network and all that. Man, they had every single spring training game there was. And I can never figure out why we weren't getting that same level of service. Now, I understand about keeping it equal with the Nats and all that, but it just seemed like a missed opportunity. You know? So I'm glad that they're going to rectify that this year. And while I'm criticizing them, another thing that I see on NESN and Yes Network is I see a dedicated like pre-game show. Like you got two anchors in a studio talking about sports news of the day and things like that, and then they would toss to a Rob Long or something like that. I think they're leaving money on the table, but that's just me. Who cares what I think? Navy and Towson still tied at 3. They are underway, Loyola at Hopkins, but there's no score available yet, and we will keep you up to date on that. Kevin Ostreicher, as I said, is going to join us at the bottom of the hour, and we're going to talk a lot about the Ravens because there's an awful lot to talk about. This coaching staff, I had people say to me all week, well, who are these guys? You know, we haven't heard of most of these guys. Well, that may be the point. You know, this is a bright young group that the number one guy this hiring cycle brought together. And if you're going to trust him to guide the franchise, the fortunes of this franchise, you got to trust him to hire coaches too. One in particular that I really like, and this won't surprise you because I've told you this for years, Anthony Weaver and me are good friends. I really think the world of Anthony Weaver. With the head coach calling defensive plays, I'm not sure how all this is going to work. But I know Weave's personality, and I know his intellect. And if anybody can make something like that work, he can. The other thing that Weaver brings to this staff is some experience. You know, we talked with Rich a minute ago about Alonzo and his veteran presence in the clubhouse for the Orioles. Anthony Weaver is going to serve that same purpose on the Ravens coaching staff. You know, they're very, very young, and there's things that need to be done. Right now, the front office has the controls. It's all up to them because they've got to get Lamar done. And there's no villain in this story, and I do think that this is probably going to go easier than the initial one did. We can only hope it will because that didn't go well at all. But they've got to have it done because they got to clear space. They've got to go after free agents. They're preparing for a draft, too. What do? You know, I've been saying all along, man, they got to go O-line, D-line. Well, maybe they need a pass rusher. You know, I don't know. I'm still leaning O-line. I think you got to protect that quarterback. This is the weirdest story of the weekend. I don't know if you heard about this, but Jamal Lewis was given a presidential pardon. This was back, you'll remember when all this happened. Remember, he went to prison for a couple of months. He was involved with a woman who was connected to a drug dealer, and he used a cell phone that he shouldn't have used. Anyway, he ends up going to prison. By the way, he went to prison the same winter as what's her name? The older woman hangs out with Snoop Dogg all the time. Anyway, they went together. They went to prison at the same time. So I felt a lot safer then. I don't know about you, but yeah, he was fully pardoned. Whatever he did has now been forgiven, and I know I'll sleep. Martha Stewart, that's what I was trying to think of. He and Martha Stewart went to prison the same winter, and as I was saying, I don't think I've ever felt so safe. One last thing, and I'm going to the phones. By the way, if you want to get on, give me a call, do it. 410-583-1057. Again, 410-583-1057. I'm a little bit tired of hearing how the Ravens let Mike Macdonald get away. Look at the 2 seasons before Macdonald left. Look at the win total. Look at the records they were setting. Look how dominant that team was. You're really going to fire your head coach after those 2 seasons because you got a hot young coordinator who may become a good head coach? No. It's just silly to second guess him for that. It really is. I mean, think about that. There's no way they could have known. And plus, Harbaugh was coming off back-to-back, probably 2 of the best seasons he's had in Baltimore. So, no, that's not an argument that's going to carry any weight with me. That's for sure. 410-583-1057. Michael in West Towson, what's going on?
Hey, Bruce, I just want to tip my hat to you, and I'm going to believe what you say about coaches because last year I was listening to your show, and you said there's a coach coming out of James Madison, a football coach.
Yeah.
And you said, keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
He's got something going. And sure enough, if he didn't go to Indiana and win the national championship with an undefeated team.
And they're going to build a statue. They're going to build a statue of him in Indiana, too, probably. You know, I mean, that's how I knew. But Cignetti, give him credit. He understands the rules, right?
I guess you picked him. I mean, I'd like take you to a horse race. I mean, phew. So I was really impressed with that.
I know a whole bunch.
Saying that, and I was like, James Madison. I know where James Madison is, and I guess they're. I don't know. Are they D1 or D2?
Well, they're Cignetti brought them D1. They were that old 1AA FCS, and he's the one that brought them into D1 and won big.
Wow.
So,
well, I'm going to trust you on what you say about Weaver, okay?
And I got plenty of people that'll tell you don't listen to me at the racetrack, okay? I got plenty of people that'll tell you that.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Same to
sir.
you. Same to you. I appreciate it. All right, there he goes. You know, it is Valentine's Day, and I'm amazed that we didn't bring it up until Rich joined us. And where's all the Valentine's Day music over there? Music lady? Yeah, you know what, Joe? You're right. It's tough. How many songs are there about love? You know, not many. I know for guys, especially young guys, Valentine's Day is a tightrope. I mean, it's real easy to screw up Valentine's Day. I mean, real easy to screw up Valentine's Day. And the woman in your life, she's probably not going to give you a whole lot of suggestions or reminders or anything. No, this is something you have to do on your own. And if you screw up Valentine's Day, you're not going to want to live in the world that creates. And it's not too late. You can still run out to a Rite Aid. You know? No, you can't anymore. They're closed. Walgreens. You can still run out to Walgreens right quick. I went to the card store on Thursday because I'm thinking I'm smart. I'm going to beat the rush on Friday. I went there on Thursday, and it was 3 deep. I couldn't get anywhere near the car. I was reaching over guys' shoulders, and can you hand me that one? And we're just hapless. We have no clue. And this is one holiday where we've got to get it exactly right, and we hardly ever do. But, ladies, we mean well. Well, most of us do. All right. Phones remain open next segment. 410-583-1057. Again, 410-583-1057. Kevin Ostreicher talking Ravens coming up at 1:30.
If you're thinking about it, we're talking about it. 105.7 The Fan.
Paying too much for your personal home and auto insurance? Most people are and don't even know it. Gray Insurance Group cuts costs on your personal home and auto insurance by searching top carriers to find the lowest rates. Better coverage, real savings, month after month. Why wait and throw money away? Call Paul now at 410-879-6383. Gray Insurance Group handles everything. Most clients save hundreds every year before their next renewal. Gray Insurance Group, 410-879-6383.
Hey, man, that was our exit. We're going to miss kickoff.
Don't worry. Just got to stop by Giant to get some chips and dip real quick.
Nice. You got the Upside app too, right?
Upside? What's Upside?
Time out. You don't know this? Check this out. Upside is a free app that gets you cash back when you buy groceries. And it just added all Giant stores in D.C., Maryland, Virginia, and Delaware.
You're saying I can get money back just for buying groceries? That's a pretty big deal.
Yep, and with Upside, you can get up to $15 every time you shop at Giant. Now pull over and get the Upside app. Let's get some cash back on that queso.
Download the Upside app and use promo code CHARM01 to get a $10 bonus on your first grocery purchase at Giant. That's promo code CHARM01 to get a $10 bonus. Use promo code CHARM01. Giant is now on Upside. It's a pretty big deal.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now through Monday, all brands are on sale at Mattress Firm with up to 60% off. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Really smart. Unfortunately, I didn't check if I took the gas hose out of my car's tank. Ooh, not smart. And I drove off while still attached to pump number 3.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Potential savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
What would you say was the biggest factor in getting that win tonight?
I mean, you said it. I think that was it for me. Factor. I was feeling strong. Had plenty in the tank for overtime.
Wait, Factor, like the meals?
Yeah, Factor meals. I've been getting Factor high protein meals delivered all month. I get all the power I need. They taste great, and they're ready to eat in 2 minutes.
Okay, I need to get on that.
For real. Go to factormeals.com. It's the easiest way to eat like a pro.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jeff's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination, where Sammy, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge. And Sammy does that for free, too. In no time at all, Jeff is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
There you go. 60s frat boy, Happy Halloween. That had love in it. Very, very good. I went in there during the break, and she had the lyrics up on the screen. She wanted to make sure. I appreciate that extra level of concentration. We got the call a little while ago. I was talking to the guy that called in about Duke. You know, we were having some fun with how much we all used to hate Duke. There's a whole generation now who probably doesn't remember how bad we hated Duke. Well, I may have told this story before on this show, but I love telling it, so I'm going to tell it again. Wendy, my beautiful wife, we just celebrated our 10th anniversary last August. I met her in 2012, and we went up to Pittsburgh, where her dad's from, and to their family reunion. And I met all of her relatives. Now, remember, this is 2012. So Wendy's uncle Tom Carlton, he's a big Pitt basketball fan. He loves Pitt basketball. That was right as Pitt was joining the ACC. So he said, you know about the ACC, don't you? And I said, yeah, I know about the ACC. He said, let me ask you, he said, am I going to like it? I said, what do you mean? He said, well, you know, I'm going to miss Syracuse and Georgetown and in Villanova. And I said, yeah, but you're getting North Carolina and Duke. And he, okay. So I don't see him for 5 more years. 5 years later. I said, hey, Tom, we had to talk about the ACC. I said, how you like the ACC? He said, man, I love the ACC. But you know what? I can't stand Duke. And I said, it doesn't take long, does it, Tom? No. So see, it wasn't just us. Everybody hates Duke. And by the way, if you haven't seen it, the 30 for 30, I hate Christian Laettner. Oh boy, that's worth watching. Because if you hated Duke, those were the thick, salad days of hating Duke when they had Christian Laettner. I'm mad just thinking about it. Let's go to Steve in Baltimore. Steve, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
I'm good, man. What's up?
I got a love song for you. First of all, Major Harris.
Love won't let me wait. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. All right. Second thing is, I'm a Ravens fan till I die. I bleed purple.
Yeah.
Third thing is, I don't care what we do. We need to get Fowler Lele some help. He need to be training in the off season like now.
Yeah. They need to work on that offensive line a lot, don't they? I mean, it's no mystery that Lamar had 4 different injuries last year, you know?
Right. But Fowler Lele is just clueless, man. If you sit back and watch him, he is clueless.
He is. He can't move. You know, he blocks out the sun. He's so big, and that impresses everybody. And they moved him from tackle to guard the year before, and he played fairly well, but it's like he just forgot how to play last year. I mean, look, Steve, they got to replace both those guards, both of them, right?
Yeah, but I mean, as big as he is,
I know.
J.O. didn't have a problem. Jonathan Ogden didn't have a problem.
He ain't Jonathan Ogden, is he?
At all.
That's why. That's why you can send mail to Jonathan Ogden, care of Canton, Ohio. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
There it is.
Exactly.
All right, Steve.
And I think Marlon Humphrey is getting a little too beat up.
Well, that's part of it, and his contract is pretty big. So I got a feeling he's going to be a cap casualty in the offseason. I really do.
Yeah, you guys enjoy your Valentine's
Thank you.
Day.
Appreciate it, Steve. There he goes. Yeah, Marlon, he is slowing down, but he also makes an awful lot of money. And they got cap issues until they can get this Lamar thing done. And I think you add all those things up, and it means goodbye, Marlon. And I loved having him in town. I covered Marlon Humphrey's father at Alabama, Bobby Humphrey, great running back. And I was excited when he came here. In fact, he was on a team. There were 3 guys on that roster whose fathers I had covered. And that's when I knew I was getting old and I needed to retire. But, yeah, Humphrey has been a great Raven. I think he's a Ring of Honor guy, but I don't think you're going to see him here anymore. I really don't. Let's go to Joe in Arbutus. Joe, what's up?
How you doing, Bruce?
Hey.
I guess, is Castellanos too high price for the Orioles?
No, he signed with somebody else. I just read that.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, the Padres, San Diego.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, now here's my Valentine's Day thing. I heard this on the radio years ago, and like you, my wife and I got remarried at a later age, in our 50s. And what I heard and what we initiated was on our first Valentine's Day card and on our first anniversary card, we keep those. We cut Hallmark out of everything, and we write a note to each other on the card.
Nice.
And after 25 years, it's really nice to go back and look at all those notes, plus the fact that these were the cards when we were first courting each other.
Yeah.
And it brings back all those fond memories. So that's my suggestion to all you young people. As these cards get to become $10, it's a pretty good idea.
Well, after 25 years, you got to be running out of room on that card.
Oh, we are, yeah, definitely. I do one-liners,
Yeah.
2003, I still love thee.
Yeah. Okay, that's not bad. I'm going to steal that one.
Okay.
I'm going to steal it. Thank you.
Do it.
What about the Orioles? What's on your mind there?
No, I was just wondering about Castellanos.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
I thought he was still out there because nobody wanted him.
No, San Diego's spending a lot of money the last couple of years. They got Manny Machado.
Well,
and
they
they
sure are.
Well, you know why? Because the Chargers left. They're the only game in town.
Yeah.
And that's got
They
to
want to compete. They got to compete with the Dodgers.
Yeah, it's got to improve the cash flow, though, having your competition out of town. It's got to be easier to sell tickets. I'm just saying. Thanks for the call, Joe. Appreciate it. There he goes, Joe in Arbutus. Let's take Mitch in New Jersey. Mitch, what's going on?
How's it going, Bruce?
It's going well.
Okay, it's good. Good to hear. It's warming up at least.
Yeah, man.
This NBA, all these All-Star games, big waste of time, really much. The All-Stars, the good players should get the rest.
Yeah.
And this thing with tanking, it is awful what's going on now. You know what? They should reward. They should do what the NFL does with the worst record, because even the Raiders won the last game, or the teams that make the playoffs, let them go for one ping pong ball for them, or the best team with the best record gets the first pick.
Okay.
I know it's going to be a deep draft, but that's the only way you're going to stop this, I think. Yeah, give them a reason to win, not lose.
Okay. Interesting thoughts. Thanks, Mitch. I appreciate it. NBA, All-Star Weekend is here. I heard an interesting debate yesterday about the slam dunk contest and how none of the major stars want to participate in it. And it's come down to, just guys you never really even heard of. And like they were offering them $1 million for the stars to participate. And what's $1 million to LeBron? What's $1 million to those guys? By the way, I'll be here on President's Day, Monday, with Jimmy Patsos between 10 and 2. We'll do 10 to 2 on Monday. We'll talk a lot of basketball then. And I wanted to ask Jimmy about this, but I'll go ahead and throw it out to you. If you're a basketball fan and you have Amazon Prime, have any of you watched that ABA series? Soul City, I think it's called. It's about the short, colorful life of the ABA. As many of you know, I was a big ABA fan growing up in Virginia. I had the Virginia Squires with Dr. J and George Gervin and all that. And anyway, there's very little to read or very little in the way of documentaries about the ABA. And it was such a big part of my life, my adolescence, really. And it premiered on Thursday. It's a 4-parter. I've watched all 4 parts. I highly, highly recommend it. How good was the ABA? The year after the merger, 1977, there were on the All-Star teams, there were 10 ABA players. That's how good that league was. And nobody talks about him anymore. But anyway, I don't mean to be doing promos for for Amazon Prime. They don't need my help, but that's where it is right now. Coming up next, Kevin Ostreicher. We're talking Ravens. Stick around.
See what you've been missing by seeing what you've been listening to.
What was the question?
The Big Bad Morning Show. Vinny and Haynie and Inside Access on the Fan's YouTube channel. Subscribe at Baltimore 1057 The Fan.
We hope you never need us, but if you're ever injured in an accident, we'll handle everything with trusted guidance and personal attention so you can focus on what matters most, your recovery. Rice Law. Best advice, call Rice.
RiceLawMD.com.
Powerful doesn't just happen. You have to make it happen. So the moment Total Wireless offers a free Samsung S25 FE with Galaxy AI, when you switch to Total 5G or 5G Plus Unlimited 3-month plan, you take the network as powerful as you, with unlimited 5G data that won't slow you down. Now that's a total power move. Visit your neighborhood Total Wireless store. Device taxes and fees may apply. Requires new activation on a Total 5G Unlimited 3-month plan or higher. External port in and ID verification. Available only in Total Wireless stores. Limit to 4 devices per account.
Hey, it's Ken Weinman. Want to know why betting the Winter Olympics on FanDuel makes sense? From game lines to medal counts to finding your angle in the events you care about most, FanDuel gives you more ways to stay connected to the action. The Winter Games are on, and there's no better way to follow them than with a bet on FanDuel. Curling matches that start slow and somehow get tense fast. Speed skating decided by inches. Hockey games that feel different from the opening face-off, and so much more. FanDuel is your place to bet the Winter Olympics. And go now. FanDuel. Play your game. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of 1057 The Fan. 21 plus and present in Maryland. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or give them a call at 1-800-GAMBLER. Again, that phone number is 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Can I take your coat?
Oh, you noticed. Yeah, I found it on eBay from a seller in Vegas. Pre-loved and perfect. She listed it and jackpot. Italian leather, classic trench silhouette. And did you see the braided buckle?
Hang on to your claim ticket.
Oh, I'll hang on to this forever. Have you been on eBay? There's so many finds. And I bet that diving watch would sell fast. Just saying.
Find what you love, sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Great moments in sports. Serena Williams was only 17, and it was only her second professional season. Yet there she was, taking on Martina Hingis, the world's top-ranked female tennis player in the 1999 U.S. Open.
Good start for Williams. Number 5. Ladies and gentlemen, the 1999 U.S. Open Wimbledon singles champion, Serena Williams.
Serena was seeded 7th at the U.S. Open. There, she defeated Monica Seles, the world's number 4, Lindsay Davenport, the world's number 2, and the number 1, Hingis. With the victory, Williams became the second African-American woman since Althea Gibson in 1958 to win a Grand Slam singles tournament. Grand Slam referring to tennis's major annual events. The Williams sisters also won the doubles title at the 99 U.S. Open, their second Grand Slam together. Since then, Serena has won an additional 13 Grand Slams.
The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Bruce Cunningham Show on a snowy Saturday. I hope all this is out of here by next time we talk. Well, it won't be because it's Monday. I was saying by next Saturday, but, I'm sick of it. How about you? I mean, I lived in Alaska for 3 years. I know what it's like to have snow on the ground, but not like this. This sucks. All right, let's just be honest, and it sucks. Someone who doesn't suck is Kevin Ostreicher, who covers the Ravens, Locked On Ravens, does a lot of work, got his own podcast, all of that stuff. It's been a while since I had him on, and we're happy to have him back. Kevin, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Bruce. I'm glad to be back, and I am in agreement with you about the snow. I was trying to just do some walking earlier today, and there's still snow covered in the sidewalks and slipping around, and the snow happened like 2 weeks ago at this point. So
no, actually, 3 weeks tomorrow. 3.
Man, I can't even keep track anymore.
I had a drain spout. The ice knocked it down, and it was hanging off the house, and I couldn't get to it. So finally, the wind last weekend blew it over, and I still can't go in the yard and pick it up. So I'm just looking forward to life getting a lot better. That's for sure.
And yeah, free agency will help with that. Coming up soon.
I hope so. Well, let's talk about Jesse Minter here. He has filled out his coaching staff. Most of these names are unfamiliar names. As I look at this thing, I kind of get the feeling that that's the point, that this could be next-gen NFL coaches here in Baltimore next year.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. And, I mean, yes, there's certainly some risk in bringing over a bunch of college coaches and, guys coming in the league for the first time or first-time play callers like a Declan Doyle, for example. But I think, again, the whole point of moving on from John Harbaugh and his staff was that it was time for a change in Baltimore, and that's what the Ravens determined. And I think with Jesse, you see a lot of connections, with him, and even with Declan Doyle and a lot of that offensive staff. It's guys who have worked with him before. Jesse Minter bringing in familiar faces, and, this is a connections league. And, I mean, the Harbaugh family is one of the best at relationships and connections, and Jesse Minter's kind of diving into his bag and Rolodex in terms of who he's bringing in. And, it's not just guys that are like, who is this? Why are they getting this job? I mean, they are very accomplished, qualified guys that have put together very impressive resumes so far. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I understand your excitement because I kind of feel that too. This feels like kind of a nice little jolt. Though the thing though with the coordinators besides Doyle, with Anthony Weaver and Anthony Levine, the reason I like both of those picks is that those are guys who've been here. Those are guys who've worn that jersey. Those are guys who've won some games for the Ravens. And I think given the overall youth of that coaching staff, that's going to be a very important thing that both those two can bring. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, I totally agree. And, one of the things that Jesse Minter said during his introductory press conference was that, obviously he wants guys who know the X's and O's, but, it's also about relationship building and guys who vibe with the players and are able to be just players' guys. And, Weaver was really well-liked in Baltimore during his time as the defensive line coach. And obviously, yes, the player aspect helps too. And Levine is someone who's widely respected in that building. And I think that, again, having that veteran experience is really good. Again, for an offensive coordinator with a guy like Jesse Minter, I think it was okay to take that risk because you have such a high floor with that offense already with Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and I think Declan Doyle can unlock that. But I think with Weaver and Levine, I don't want to call them safe hires, but I don't think that's a bad term to use. I think they're safe in the terms of like they're going to be able to help this defense.
Yeah.
But I think also safe or defense and special teams in Levine's case, but they're also going to be able to, I think, increase the ceiling. And, the defensive line who worked with Weaver, that was the year 2023, for example, before Weaver left. I mean, Nnamdi Madubuike had his career year.
Yeah.
I'm sure was working with guys like Clowney and Van Noy, et cetera. Now, being able to use that for the entire defense and kind of, be the guy that has, not calling play. He's not the call and play guy, but he'll be able to kind of work with Minter on that game plan, I think it's going to be really cool to have a guy like that in Minter's ear.
After the year that we've had in Miami, he's probably relieved not to have to call plays.
Yeah, and honestly, the first year in Miami, it was a good defense for them. But last year was a mess, and they traded away. And that's why I'm saying, like, these connections matter because you're looking at some of these free agent pools, and, Khalil Mack is available. I don't know if they'd bring back an Afe, but you have the Minter connection there as well. And even in Miami, Jalen Phillips, who was traded to Philadelphia midway through the year, he could be an option. So, again, I mean, if you like a coach enough, you follow that guy to the next destination, and that helps. So I think that's good.
Yeah, Khalil Mack would be nice, but the problem is you got to get Lamar to put that pen to paper before you can even think about things like that. That's really frustrating so far. It really is.
Yeah, you have a situation where, again, and we can go back to 2023 where they essentially lost their offseason because that deal wasn't signed and he was on the non-exclusive tag. And I think that hit was around $40-ish million. And, it's a lot of money to have tied up over the big months of free agency. And, I guess the Ravens strategy is always, we're going to let the market develop and whatnot. But, I think they missed an opportunity there because they had so much money tied up with Lamar. Now, again, I think that this is a bit of a different situation than 2023. Obviously, he's not a free agent. So, before that time hit to put a lot of recruiters out there, try to get these free agents going, you can restructure that deal. You can push that money down the line. You can free up a certain amount of space. But, of course, the extension is what everybody wants here because it frees up your money this year. Lamar gets a big payday, well-deserved one. But, again, I just don't know what he wants in terms of, does he want a deal that beats Dak Prescott's average annual value? Does he want a deal that beats Josh Allen's total money? There's a lot of question marks in there. But, again, like we talked about a couple of years ago, Bruce, a lot of people were saying this, is, when Lamar signed that deal, highest ever for a quarterback in history, this, that, and the other, highest NFL contract, and everyone's like, oh, man, that's a lot of money. But here we are about 2 years later, and however long it's been, and, that deal's like ace now in terms of quarterback. So in a couple of years, we'll be looking back on this deal, I'm sure, as well. With that's a bargain.
Hey, they don't come down. Let me give you some historical perspective. I'm working in Richmond at WXEX TV in 1979 when Pete Rose signed a $3 million deal to join the Phillies, and I said, "That's it, $3 million. That's as high as it can go." Just learn from that. Hey, the other thing I wanted to get you talking about is since McDonald won the Super Bowl, I'm hearing an awful lot of second guessing here in Baltimore about how did they let him get away. I like to remind people, and you're good with history and you're good with numbers, I like to remind people of what the Ravens' record was and the things they did the 2 years that McDonald were here that would have justified toppling Harbaugh to keep him. I mean, those were 2 great seasons that Harbaugh had. It would have been stupid to fire him,
Yeah, it was such a tough situation for them, and I know that a lot of people, when that season ended, and, there are obviously all those conversations about McDonald, there was a lot of conversation about, okay, well, what if Harbaugh just, moves to the front office or you put him in a different role? And, my response to that was like, Harbaugh wants to coach. And he's a competitor. He wants to be on that football field doing his thing. And to me, it was unfortunate timing. If there was a way, I would have loved it. But, the reality, and I said this for the entirety of that whole process, the reality was they just weren't going to fire him. Whether you wanted them to or, you were okay with Harbaugh staying, the reality was that, this team just had their first home AFC championship game. It had an incredible season. And, it would have been different if maybe they had lost in the, if they had even played in the wild card round that year. But, if they had lost in the wild card round or divisional round, was another disappointing exit that way, then sure, there would have been a lot more conversations about it. I just think the way that it kind of sparked the conversation the way it did was because of how they lost in the championship game. Yeah. The 6 runs with the running backs. Yep. And, the defense tightened up in the second half. They didn't allow a point, but it was a slow start for them and kind of how everything was abandoned. But, obviously I think everybody in Baltimore knew what Mike was capable of. And if there was a way to keep him on and again, like if the Ravens had found a way, if McDonald didn't get hired away in that coaching cycle, I think the next year, I think Harbaugh would have been fired after the Buffalo game, and they would have made McDonald the head coach, and that's how it would have gone. But it's all timing in the league, and that just wasn't it.
It sounds like you're describing that alleged deal that James Franklin had with Ralph Friedgen.
Oh man,
kind of similar to that. No, I'm just kidding. Getting back to Jesse Minter, though, it's unusual that a rookie head coach steps into a situation with the stuff that he's got at his disposal. I mean, he's got a quarterback, he's got a running back, he's got a great safety, he's got a linebacker, he's got a lot of things to work with, and he's got to be looking at the AFC North right now on February 14th thinking, I'm not impressed by this division at all, because right now everything's in disarray.
He shouldn't be impressed. I mean, the Ravens are the team to beat, and I mean, it's not even close. And, Pittsburgh going with McCarthy and Cleveland. I mean, I personally like the Munkenhire a little more than maybe some people do in Cleveland.
Yeah.
But, that Cincinnati team always has been the one that's just like, if they can get, because I'm not a huge Zach Taylor guy anymore. So I'm like, if they can get their coaching situation right in that defense, Burrow, Chase, and Higgins, you can go and do something. But I don't have confidence in Cincinnati either. And again, it's not going to be like a by default thing. You're going to have to obviously work hard to win that division. It's not going to be a cakewalk or anything. But, you're right. Today on February 14th, you're looking across the league, or I guess across the division, and, there are rumblings that, could Aaron Rodgers come back to Pittsburgh? Well, I don't think that's a huge threat to Baltimore. For Cleveland, what's their situation going to be? Are they going to trade for somebody, or is it going to be a year Shedeur Sanders? I'm not sure. Since he's that offense, it's high-powered, but they're going to give up 50 points a game on defense. So I think, to me, with the floor, again, if they can Lamar can be healthy, if they can fix their offensive line and defensive line, there is already a very high floor of talent on this roster.
Yep.
And if they can just put together the last couple of pieces, I think they're going to be right back in Super Bowl contention with a rookie head coach and Jesse Minter.
Well, just win some games this year. Don't put us through this again. 2025 was tough across the board, And have you noticed now that we've moved into 2026 that Maryland's basketball team's starting to win a few games? I think it was a 2025 thing,
Yeah, just 2025, 2026, it's a new year. New Year's resolution is a lot more winning of ball.
Hell with 2025. Hey,
Maryland.
Tell everybody about your podcast.
Yeah, Locked On Ravens. We are 5 days a week plus more of daily Ravens coverage over there. We have it both available in video form on YouTube and audio form wherever you get your podcast. You're not missing out whether you want to watch or listen. We have a wide array of guests. Bruce pops on, which is always great. I got to get you back on soon, Bruce. I'd love that.
You got my number.
I do, and I will be texting that number.
I don't even have to leave the house. It's the easiest gig there is.
It's a remote thing, so wherever you want to watch or listen, we have you covered on Locked On Ravens. It's year-round, too, throughout the offseason, so you're not missing anything.
All right, Kevin. Thanks, as always. We'll talk again soon.
All right, Bruce. Thanks so much.
There he goes. Kevin Ostreicher, Locked On Ravens. I mean, seriously, he does that podcast every single day. Every single day. I covered sports for 45 years. I didn't work that hard. I wasn't doing a podcast every day. Although, if I still was, they'd probably be forcing me to do a podcast every day. That's just kind of the way that works over there now. 410-583-1057. We got one more segment before we give way to Mike Popovic. And I'd love to talk to you. 410-583-1057.
I'm Kevin Harlan. You're listening to the station with the best Ravens coverage. Sports Radio 105.7.
The Fan.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
This is Around the League, powered by Factor. As the pro basketball season moves deeper into the second half, the pressure is on. Contenders are separating. The trade deadline is come and gone, and all-star storylines are heating up. This is the stretch where preparation matters. Factor meals deliver pro-level nutrition with chef-crafted flavors that make it easy to feed your performance. Factor. Eat like a pro.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems, like snoring, aches and pains, hot sleep, or even an old saggy mattress that can keep you up at night. And our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now get a king bed for a queen price, plus a free adjustable base with select mattresses. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
That's another amazing run by Team USA.
Mom, think I'll be on Team USA one day?
Well, I'll take this one.
What? Are you speaking to us?
Yes, and to answer your question, anything's possible, especially with Xfinity.
So, I can be the best snowboarder ever?
Well, I can't guarantee that, but Xfinity can guarantee that your internet price won't change for 5 years.
Okay. What if I practice every day?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom, you'll still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, really stuck the landing there.
It's the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 value per month. Xfinity. Imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture. And then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
I need your love so desperately, and only you can set me free. When I make love to you, we'll explode in ecstasy, and I won't take the blame. That love won't let me wait.
There it is. There it is. Prompted by a listener. There's your Halloween, your Valentine's Day song, Major Harris. I played that one on the radio, I guess 100,000 times probably. But I tell you what most people remember that from, rubbing bellies in middle school. That's where you remember that. Mine, when I was in middle school, it was I'll Be There by the Jackson 5. Color My World by Chicago. Those were, Love Won't Let Me Wait was like the next generation up, and they have continued to this very day. Couple of housekeeping things. First of all, I want to remind you that I'll be on Monday from 10 to 2, me and Jimmy Patsos. That should be a rollicking good time. 10 to 2 on Monday. Mike Popovic follows me today at 2 o'clock. So stay tuned to that. And you can watch us on the station's YouTube channel, 105.7 The Fan, Baltimore live stream. And I popped it up because I like to see the comments if anybody wants to know anything. And a guy named Jim DeGraff says, I live in Sarasota and have season tickets. My tickets say 1:05 p.m. first pitch on Saturday. And Jim, I'm glad you mentioned that, because had I not seen that, I would not have known about the error I made. I said that all the starting times were 10:05 a.m., which seemed a little weird to me. But then I didn't realize it was a West Coast time. So the games are all at 1:05. I want to make that clear. Friday against the Yankees, 1:05 p.m. Saturday against the Pirates, 1:05 p.m. They'll all be at 1:05 p.m. with just 1 or 2 6 o'clock games later in spring training. But it's just going to be great to see him so many times. You just starve for Orioles stuff when they're in spring training, and that'll be great. That'll be great. Also, Hopkins leading Loyola about midway through the first quarter in college lacrosse, 4-0. Loyola struggled last year, and there's a lot of people wondering what's going on over there. Charlie Toomey is a hell of a coach. He won a national championship. But they had a bad season, and Hopkins has already put 4 goals on the board. That's got to be troubling if you're a Loyola fan. It really does. One other game going on today, and that's who was that? Navy and Towson. I'll get that score for you right away, so stick around for that. 410-583-1057. Let's go to Tom in Rising Sun. Tom, what's going on?
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
I'm all right. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there. Listen, I know we signed the starter, but you know what? If we want to compete with the other starting teams, the other teams, Boston, New York, Toronto, I would go out and sign another starter. That way, our starting rotation would be just as good as theirs. You know.
Well, it's
But
one
you
thing.
never-
It's one thing you might be leaving out. They could trade for one.
Well, the thing is, they need another starter because you never, like you said before, you never know when you have an injury.
Oh yeah.
So the more starters you have, the more arms you have, the better off you are.
Yeah.
And I would go get another starter one way or another. I really would. I wouldn't just sit on my laurels and just go to spring training and go to opening day with what we got. I wouldn't do it, you know?
Yeah, man, I get you. And the starter they signed's not a big name. It's a 1-year contract. They made a bid. They made a bid for everybody that was in free agency this year. But Rich Dubrop brought this up last week, and when Valdez signed with the Tigers, maybe some players don't want to play in the AL East. You know, it's a little bit harder to win in the AL East than it is other places, right?
Yeah, I guess so. But like I said, there's some more starting pitching out there they could sign.
Yeah, they got
trade.
They got trade material. They got people they could trade for a starter.
Yeah, you have Mountcastle and you have the other guy with the Mayo.
Yeah, you got and you could even go higher up the ladder than that if you're serious about getting a starter. You know, but
Alonso's going to play first. I don't care what anybody says. Alonso's going to play most of his games at first.
Yeah.
He might DH a little bit. You know what I mean? But
here's the thing about
play
DH. I meant to ask Rich this when I had him on earlier because it's a big question I have. Previous Oriole managers like to rotate the DH. There wasn't a DH in the lineup every night. Is that going to be the case here this year? And if so, is that where Mountcastle's going to hit, or is that where Mayo? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Are they going to lock down that
see them
DH to a
both.
certain player? You know?
I don't see them keeping both. Do you?
I don't know. I don't know. I can sit here on February 14th and say no. If you ask me that question in late March, I might have a different answer, you know?
Right. Well,
I was just confused by giving Mountcastle the extension. I just really didn't understand that, you know?
Especially when they signed that extension after they signed Alonso, right?
No, it was before.
Or was it before?
Yeah, it was before.
Before. Maybe that's why.
Maybe so.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. But we'll see. Let's see. I can't wait for the game to start being on TV.
Friday, 1:05 p.m. Be there.
All right, buddy.
All right,
Take
Tom.
care.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
There he goes, Tom and Rising Sun. Listen, we're going to update lacrosse for you because it is Saturday, and it is this time of year. Towson is pulled away from Navy late in the game, 2 minutes, 24 seconds to go. Towson leading Navy 11-8. Towson has been struggling in recent years, and this would be a very nice win for them to have. I don't want to say I'm pulling for one over the other, but I mean, Towson could use this win. They really, truly could. And then one other game going on right now, Loyola and Hopkins, as I just talked about that 6 minutes ago in the second quarter. Hopkins leading Loyola 7-4. Hopkins looking to bounce back. They haven't been that great, not up to Hopkins standards in the last couple of years. And this is a good get-well game for them. Loyola, on the other hand, as I mentioned, they've been struggling. You know, I mean, how many people remember that national championship they won? I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think they were the smallest school to ever win a national championship. And I remember it was on a Sunday, and we wanted to get them, we being at Fox 45, we wanted to get them on our show that night, and we couldn't get anybody on the phone. Because they were taking the bus home from the national championship game. They weren't flying. They were all on the bus. Amazing. I had time for one more. We'll squeeze him in. Peter in Towson, what's going on?
Yeah, hi. How you doing?
Good.
Earlier you were talking about the trade with the utility guy for the reliever that we gave up.
Yeah.
Who's had an outstanding deal in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like it worked out because what's his name gets injured, but I don't know. I think it's a bit defensive to think you always have to have a utility guy that can play every position, and then he has to get at bats.
Well, it's more efficient
having juggling.
It's more efficient for your roster though when a guy has more than one position if he's your backup infielder. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, I agree with that, but you end up juggling the entire infield like they did last year. Westberg's on third base, Westberg's on second.
Well, no, I agree with that.
Moving them all around.
Yeah.
Just let the guys play. And just if somebody gets injured, you bring up a minor leaguer.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think playing defensively like that and thinking that you always have to have, you have to plan on injuries.
Yeah.
And I know we've had a lot of them.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah. I know this. Norfolk's going to have a pretty good team. I know that. You know, there's some pretty good guys that aren't going to make this roster.
Yeah, and it just seems that giving up that reliever just doesn't add up to me. I don't know.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. We got about a minute and a half to go here, and I just want to remind you once again that Mike Popovic is up next, and then he'll be in here on Monday too. In fact, Aaron, you're working his show, and Mike's going to be with Beltway Ben. Yeah, and then Ryan Ripken and Steve Molesky. And then me and Patsos, that's not bad for a holiday, you know? I mean, that's pretty good, actually. I feel good about that. But we'll all be in here on the holiday on Monday. I know a lot of you that work, you maybe don't get President's Day off or whatever. But if you are, tune us in. We'll have fun because Jimmy's a workout. You know, he's high. He's high energy, and as I get older, I'm lower and lower energy. So this could be very interesting. Now, but Jimmy's good people, and I'm looking forward to Monday, and then I'll be back again next Saturday as always. It's weird. I started doing a show at this time on Saturdays in 1996, and it was the Saturday Raven Show with Tom Maddie on 1300 AM, and I have occupied this exact time slot since 1996, over 3 different stations, but I've always been on at noon on Saturday. It's my fate, I guess, but it's the last thing I have going after a long career, and I love it, and I have a good time, and these people are very good to me, and I'm happy to come in and fill in really whenever they need me because it's a good organization, and if they need me, I'm here, and I'll be here on President's Day with Jimmy Patsos, and that's something to look forward to. As we were saying, Mike Popovic's up next. Stay tuned for him. He'll take you up into the late afternoon hours. I want to thank my guest, Rich Dubroff from BaltimoreBaseball.com, and Kevin Ostreicher from Locked On Ravens. I want to thank Aaron for doing a fine job on the other side of the class. Stay tuned for Mike Popovic. Baltimore, as I always say, I love you madly. It ain't nothing you can do about it. I'm Bruce. We'll talk again next Saturday. Until then, happy Valentine's Day.
What you want, and I'll make everything all right.
We're talking baseball on the Fan with Ryan Ripken, the Hot Stove League, where you'll stay connected to the start of the Orioles' 2026 season. Pitchers and catchers, position players, along with the rumors, trades, and signings you need to know. Sponsored by Green Mountain Loan and Jewelry. Weeknights at 6 with your host, Ryan Ripken, and streaming live on the Fan's YouTube channel.
Will you have